Thank you.
Test, 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 test. Council members, please come to the dais. We'll get started. Councilmember Joseph. Councilmember Aladamas, can you hear us? Okay.
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Thank you. Thank you. Got it. Hey. Welcome, everybody. Good evening. We'll call the meeting to order. Regular City Council meeting for City of American Canyon for April 16, 2024. Very good. Please rise and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. Thank you. Roll call, please.
Before roll call this evening, I have an announcement for tonight's meeting. Councilmember Miriam Abadamos will participate remotely under the provisions of AB 2449.
Thank you.
Councilmember Miriam Abadamos.
Here.
Councilmember Mark Joseph.
Here.
Councilmember Pierre Washington.
Here.
Vice Mayor David Oro.
Here.
Mayor Leon Garcia.
Here. Thank you. We'll move on now to report on closed session confirmation of reportable action. Mr. Ross?
Mr. Mayor, members of the council, members of the public, the council, with Councilmember Abadamos participating under the provisions of AB 2449, convened an open session at 5:31, and after learning that there were no comments on the matters agendized for closed session, adjourned to closed session at 5:31. Although there is reportable action with respect to some of the matters considered, I will prepare a written report upon return from closed session under the provisions of Government Code Section 54957.1 to reflect that. You concluded your closed session at 6:18 p.m. That would conclude the report upon return from closed session, unless there are questions.
Any questions from council members?
Yes, Mr. Mayor, just for the record, I arrived late at around 6:05 p.m., so I missed out on some of the good stuff.
Good. Anything further? No, sir. Very good. We'll move on now to proclamations and presentations. Proclamation recognizing National Fair Housing Month. Come to the podium. We'll, just the way you can make some comments, we'll hand you the proclamation and we'd like to take a photo. So it kind of works that way with how
Yes,
we conduct our
sounds great.
business. National Fair Housing Month. Whereas on April 11, 1968, President Lyndon B. Johnson signed the Fair Housing Act into federal law to eliminate racial segregation and housing discrimination in the United States. And whereas the Fair Housing Act prohibits housing discrimination based on race, color, religion, gender, familial status, national origin, and disability, and commits federal funding recipients to affirmatively further fair housing in their communities. And whereas the City of American Canyon is committed to the mission and intent of the Fair Housing Act to provide fair and equal housing opportunities for all. And whereas our social fabric, economy, health, and environment are strengthened by our diverse and inclusive community. And whereas more than 50 years after the passage of the Fair Housing Act, housing discrimination persists. And whereas acts of housing discrimination and barriers to equal housing opportunities are repugnant to our common sense and decency and fairness. And whereas the City of American Canyon supports and advocates fair housing in our community and general plan housing elements programs. And partnering with Fair Housing Napa Valley, the Housing Authority for the City of Napa and the County of Napa continue of care. Now therefore be it proclaimed that the City of American Canyon joins the nation in recognizing the month of April 2024 as National Fair Housing Month.
Thank you.
Congratulations, thank you. Thank you, brother.
Good afternoon, Mayor Garcia, Vice Mayor Oro, American Canyon City Council members, and staff. On behalf of Fair Housing Napa Valley, we are honored by this proclamation and the city's recognition of Fair Housing Month. This year marks the 56th anniversary of the passing of the Fair Housing Act, and during April, we remember the sacrifices made so that all residents could have equal choice and opportunity when seeking housing and other civil rights. While much work remains to make this a reality, Fair Housing Napa Valley is honored to serve the City of American Canyon and all of Napa County in promoting fair housing choice. Challenges due to the local and regional housing crisis, particularly inequities in access to housing, continue to impact our communities. This has increased the need and demand for assistance, particularly among low-income tenants and members of protected classes. To that point, Fair Housing Napa Valley opened 40% more cases in the last year than the previous year. Over 800 households and families, including nearly 60 from American Canyon, have received assistance since April of 2023. Fair Housing Napa Valley is honored both to meet that need and serve the county's most vulnerable residents, including here in American Canyon. That said, nobody does this work alone. Our agency is grateful for its partnerships with dedicated community organizations and local government partners, such as the City of American Canyon, whose combined strengths and areas of expertise create the broader safety net that so many of our residents need. Additionally, I'd like to commend the City of American Canyon for its continued commitment to meeting the affordable housing needs of its residents and for affirmatively furthering fair housing. Our mission to expand housing opportunities for all residents is all the more impactful when working with local government partners with the same priorities. Fair Housing Napa Valley's progress would not be possible without your support, nor without the hard work and dedication of our staff. Today's proclamation is a testament to their commitment to this agency and its mission, and continued efforts to meet the housing needs of all residents in Napa County. While we still have much to do to advance equal housing choice and eliminate housing discrimination in all of Napa County, we are honored and grateful to work alongside the City of American Canyon and other partners, some of who are seated in this room, to achieve these goals. I'd like to finish by again thanking Mayor Garcia, the American Canyon City Council, and staff for your continued support of our agency and commitment to equal housing choice. We look forward to continuing to serve the residents of American Canyon for many years to come. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Great to be partnered with you in such a great, important piece of work. Thank you. Next, we have a proclamation recognizing April 22nd, 2024 as National Earth Day. We have a recipient for the proclamation. Love the flower.
Thank you, Clarence.
Thank you. What a great touch. State of American Canyon Proclamation, April 22nd, 2024 is National Earth Day. Whereas the global community now faces extraordinary challenges such as environmental and climate change, food and water shortages, and global health issues. Whereas all people, regardless of race, gender, income, or geography, have the right to a healthy, sustainable environment. And whereas it is understood that the citizens of the global community must step forward and take action to create positive environmental changes to combat these global changes. And whereas we are all caretakers of our planet and have an obligation to combat climate change and environment degradation to preserve the Earth's beauty and resources. And whereas a sustainable environment can be achieved on the individual level through educational efforts, public policy, and consumer behavior changes. And whereas it is necessary to broaden the diversity of this global movement to achieve maximum success. And whereas we encourage business owners, institutions, and individuals of American Canyon to celebrate the Earth and commit to be good stewards of our land and water resources to create a sustainable and healthy community. And whereas on Earth Day and every day, the American Canyon community is encouraged to preserve our natural resources by participating in the efforts to reduce consumption and waste, encourage recycle, utilize renewable resources, eliminate pollution, and conserve water, land, and energy. And now therefore be it resolved that I, Leon Garcia, Mayor of the City of American Canyon, on behalf of the City Council, do proclaim April 22nd, 2024 as National Earth Day in American Canyon, and call upon our community to celebrate and participate in Earth Day on April 21st, 2024 at Wetlands Edge Park from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. Thank you.
We'll go shake hands first. Okay. Hi, everyone. Thank you very much for this proclamation. I'm Janelle Selleck, Executive Director of the Parks Foundation, and we have a couple board and staff members with us today. We're really excited to be putting on this year's Earth Day event in American Canyon, and I happen to think that our location is one of the most incredible places that you could celebrate Earth Day in all of the Bay Area. So this Sunday, April 21st, from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m., and really the purpose of Earth Day is to highlight the incredible natural resource asset that we have in the wetlands, while inspiring the community to live sustainably, and also to bring the community out together for fun and have a good time, all centered around the idea of celebrating the Earth. So we have quite a morning planned. Andrea's going to share a little bit about some of our partners that are involved. But starting at 9 o'clock, City of American Canyon Parks and Recreation is hosting a volunteer service project at the Native Pollinator Garden. And then we have a beginning birding walk with Napa Solano Audubon at 9:30. Between 10 and 1, we have an environmental partner showcase, which is a variety of groups that have tables, hands-on activities. I know you can take part in some planting activities. You can make a terrarium to take home. There's all sorts of great things that you can do hands-on. We also have our mobile classroom out for the day with a bunch of activities for kids, so be sure to bring the family. Then the city's environmental services team is planning 2 hikes out the wetlands and through this kind of secret back path into the water reclamation facility. It's the one and only time you'll have access to that path legally. And so it's a great way to learn. It's a great way to learn what they do at the water reclamation facility. It's a really fascinating place, and it's right there at the wetlands, so it's a great way to connect the earth with the water and where it all starts in your home. Starting, and then at 11 a.m., we have a Healthy Soils presentation with the UC Master Gardeners. Throughout the day, we have live music with Clarence Mammerl and the American Canyon Arts Foundation. And then we're going to wrap it all up with an environmental bike ride hosted by the Napa County Bike Coalition. And we have some amazing art that's actually just been put out on display at the wetlands. So the bike ride will go take you on a path to see the art. And whether you make it for the bike ride or you just go out in the next couple days or couple weeks to see the art, I highly recommend it. There is some incredible pieces out there. So it's going to be a great day. We encourage you all to come out. It's free. Come have a good time, gather as a community, and let's celebrate our beautiful environment. And I will turn it over to Andrea to share a few of our partners.
Hi. We're very excited about this event on Sunday, and we really couldn't do it without all of the partner organizations that are helping us pull this together. So I just want to take an opportunity to acknowledge all of them. We have Recology, Vallejo American Canyon, Marin Clean Energy, the City of American Canyon Water Reclamation Department, Sierra Club Napa Group, Napa Children's Museum, Napa Resource Conservation District, Best Earth Goods, American Canyon Arts Foundation, Napa Firewise, Napa Wildlife Rescue, Napa UC Master Gardeners, Helping Hands Indo-American, Napa Solano Audubon Society, City of American Canyon Parks and Recreation Department, Napa County Bicycle Coalition, and the American Canyon High School Environmental Education Club. Thank you.
Well, thank you. We look forward to joining you. We'll get a Photoshop.
Photo, anyone involved in Earth Day in any way, or anyone that likes the Earth, come on up.
Anyone that likes the Earth, that should be everyone in the room.
Coming? I'm waiting for you before I get over here.
Next is a proclamation recognizing April 21 to 27, 2024 as National Volunteer Week.
Volunteer Week. We're Gators. Yeah.
Yes. We recognize volunteers in this city. All right. Good to have you here.
Mark is a Gator Raider.
He's not moving.
Just a heads up. One of these whereases has a very long list of volunteer work done in American Canyon. So I just want you to, as I cycle through it, know it represents all the work American Canyon folks do. City of American Canyon Proclamation. April 21 to 27, 2024 is National Volunteer Week. Whereas the City of American Canyon recognizes April 21st through April 27th, 2024 is National Volunteer Week. And whereas experience teaches us that government alone cannot solve all our social problems and meets all our opportunities. So we have focused on partnerships with businesses, faith-based organizations, nonprofit organizations, and community members. And whereas our nonprofit organizations and community partners are essential to helping build a stronger community through volunteer projects and special events to help enhance our community's quality of life. Whereas we shine a light on the people who inspire us to serve, recognize and thank volunteers who lend their time, talent, and voice to make a difference within our community. And whereas volunteers empower others to take action, realize their ability to make a difference, and be a force that transforms the world. And whereas we recognize and thanks the following agencies for their continued support and dedication to our community. Ready? It's a long list. Thank you, American Canyon. American Canyon Troop Support. We recognize and thank the following agencies for their continued support and dedication to our community. Oh, I'm sorry, I hit that one already. American Canyon Troop Support, Ojai Swim Team, American Canyon Bocce Ball League, American Canyon Cancer Society, American Canyon 4-H, American Canyon Arts Foundation, American Canyon Chamber of Commerce, American Canyon AYSO Soccer League, Region 1187, American Canyon Community Church, American Canyon Community and Parks Foundation, American Canyon Cycling, the American Canyon Cub Scouts, Troop 7178 and 7062, ACHS Ski Club, American Canyon Lions Club, American Canyon Little League, American Canyon VFW Post 1123, American Canyon Youth Football and Cheer, Boys and Girls Club of American Canyon, Canyon Oak Elementary PTA, CERT, Kiwanis Club of American Canyon, Donaldson Way Elementary PTA, Family Resource Center, Filipino American Association of American Canyon, Friends of the Napa River, Friends of American Canyon Library, Helping Hands Indo America Incorporated,
I want a copy of
LGBTQ Plus Connection, Moms Club of American Canyon, Napa Junction Elementary PTA, Seroptimist International, and Spirit Horse. And whereas through their generosity of time, money, and in-kind services, many opportunities have been afforded to our community, including food and essential service distribution, community and fundraising events, programs and services, community projects, and so much more. Wow. Now therefore be it resolved that I, Leon Garcia, Mayor of American Canyon, on behalf of the City Council, do proclaim April 21st through the 27th, 2024, as National Volunteer Week, and call upon American Canyon to celebrate the important work that these selfless volunteers do every day throughout our community. Thank you. Thank you. Congratulations. All right, we're gonna get a picture of you.
Fran, you get to hold this.
Hey, thank you, Mayor Garcia, Vice Mayor Oro, and City Council for this National Volunteer Week recognition. We definitely, we are definitely honored by it. I invited our three of the there's actually 5 Gateway Award winners in this room, but I invited us that were in the audience up to also accept the proclamation. We're very proud in American Canyon to say with a lot of might that volunteers get things done in this town. And I hope to encourage, we hope to encourage more volunteers I just want to, okay, so I'm the 2023 Gateway Award winner. But I wanted to share my short story about my journey to the Gateway Award. And you know what? Starts with the animal balloon. The second appearance of an animal balloon in City Council. It was 2012, and it was the Spring Arts Festival at Canyon Oaks, and my kids were going there, and I volunteered to make animal balloons for the art festival. for the elementary school kids. And in doing that, Mayor Garcia, maybe you remember this.
Yes, I do.
You know, for reasons unknown to me, that caught your attention.
Yes.
And you came up to me and said, hey, maybe you'd like to do other things.
Yeah.
And those other things included encouraging me to apply for the Parks and Community Services Commission, which I was appointed to in 2013, among other things, right? And that was my journey. And joining different groups and, you know, just really like loving this community. Before then, I was pretty passive. I was a pretty passive resident. But after that, just a lot of love from everybody here. And to be a part of this group is pretty amazing. But it all started with an animal balloon. Making animal balloons, you know, it's not going to cure cancer. It's not going to end wars. But it makes people smile.
Yes.
And that's where it starts,
Yeah.
right? Just share your talents with the folks around you, and that, you know, sparks some goodness in our town. So,
Thank you
You
for
know.
sharing your story. Thank
yeah,
you.
and thank you. Thank you for that.
I want to hang out with the Gators side.
You know what amazed me about that proclamation was all the volunteer organizations in the city of American Canyon. Wow. This community very much engaged for making this, as we say, a great place to work, live, and play. Certainly does. Okay, well, next is a presentation, the Rotary Club of Napa Spirit Horse fundraiser. Thank you. Welcome.
Thank you very much, Mayor Garcia and Vice Mayor Oro, and this council that I know so well. It's wonderful to be here. I am representing the Rotary Club, actually one of two Rotary Clubs in Napa that believe that American Canyon is the best, that you are the future, that we think it's amazing.
Thank you very much. We
Yeah,
appreciate
see? Yeah, and you have a great city manager. I've been a Rotarian for 36 years, and I was the first woman elected as the Rotary Club president when many of you who've lived here for a long time probably remember Judge Bill Blankenberg. When women were coming into Rotary clubs in the mid-'80s, he said, "I'm taking this to the Supreme Court. It'll never happen." Well, I sat next to him, and the college president sat next to him. Second meeting, he stood up and said, "What was I thinking?" So, anyway, we've got an audience full of Spirit Horse supporters, including Charlotte, who has made the place magic.
Thank you,
Magic,
Charlotte.
magic. And I want to thank all of you for everything you've done for the Clark property and for your 30 acres that are really important, and especially for Spirit Horse. Today, as an example, Bill Chadwick is here. We had 12 veterans with PTSD riding horses on the ranch today. You probably know about the Camille Creek program that we do with the students. These are kids that have been basically kicked out of every high school in Napa County. And several of them have probation officers. Last year, when we did our first event, I had one of the kids from Camille Creek come up to me and he said, "You know, Auntie Dorothy, I'm in a gang." I said, "Me too. I'm in a gang too. My gang's a little older than yours, but I'm in a gang too. I'm in the Rotary gang." And that kid said, "So what do you want me to do?" So I said, "I want you to thank everyone who's here that goes through the food line. I want you to serve up the food." And this kid was fabulous. And he said, "I love this place. I love the horses." These kids who were not doing well are now graduating from high school. A couple of them are putting their careers forward to take care of horses. And basically, what Charlotte has been able to do at Spirit Horse is to take rescue horses and rescue people and put them together, and it's been magic. So you made that happen. You guys have made that happen, and we wanted to thank you. Our fundraiser, yes, we'll have fabulous wine. Andre's here. His wine will be served at Spirit Horse. Our event, our fundraising event, is May 4th. That's a Saturday from 4 to 8. Because we don't have electricity down there yet. But I'm on it. For all of you who know me, you know, PG&E's moving closer. So there we go. But we would love to see all of you at the event. It's spectacular. A bunch of you were there last year. Great food, great wine, wonderful entertainment, and the kids serving your food are all the students from Camille Creek. So we are really proud of this as Rotarians and as a community. We've got the Hess family here. We've got fabulous board members here on Spirit Horse. We've got fabulous Bill here helping make sure we have veterans down there. And the Rotary Club, as you probably know, we raised money for 15 years and did 2,000 cyclists a year at Cycle for Sight. And I was the board president of the Pathway Home. And when our clinicians were killed on March 9th, 2018, we made the decision as a Rotary Club that that wasn't going to be our legacy. The legacy was people in this community up and down the county supporting veterans. We wrote a guidebook that's free to every Rotary Club in the United States. That's 52 pages on veterans health care. We're still very involved with the Martinez VA, with the Concord VA. Amazing things are happening. So we love your support. We love the property. We are raising money right now to do all the things that Charlotte needs to have done. And the Rotary Clubs, both of them, absolutely believe in her and in all of you and what we can do together. So we want you there on the 4th. It's fun. And I'd love to have everybody that showed up tonight in support of Spirit Horse stand up and clap. There's a photo for you. Anyway, I love you all. I'm very impressed with everything you've done, and especially in American Canyon. So now you've got a bunch of Rotarians that want to be your best PR ever, and especially with that property, that 30 acres. So we will come back with some plans that we'd love to share with you. But right now, it's come to the event, have fun, and we'll be your best supporters. So thank you. You all got one of these. I left the lunch right over there.
Okay, very good.
Any questions?
We all got one.
Yeah,
Well, thank you very much for the presentation. We look forward to that. And certainly the very positive energy from the heart, medical cortisone, straight from the heart for everything in America. So we look forward to that. Appreciate the outcomes you have. Right. Oh. Comment? That's right. All right. Got some more folks showing up. So I think that's going to show up on our community calendar page as well. Very good. Thank you. All right. Well, appreciate the input tonight, and the sincerity is with it. It's truly there. It's very real. And what we're doing for kids and veterans is just wonderful. All right, we need to move on to our agenda. We have public comments on item not on closed session or open session agenda. You have cards?
I do. Michelle Marin.
I'll pass till May 7th.
Okay. All right.
Well, we have some folks leaving, so we'll let them.
Joan Bennett.
We'll settle down. Welcome, John. If you give us a minute, so
I don't know which one of these to use. Good evening, Mayor and Council. I was a bit sorry I didn't follow Clarence about the Gateway Award people because we finished that process of getting a new Gateway Award winner. And as usual, I was sitting in the early morning, sipping my coffee and thinking, who really has done the most for this community over time, even if they have been paid? So, I will tell you who came to my mind. It was our really good city attorney, Bill Ross. So Bill, excuse me, was, this always happens when you don't want it to happen. Bill.
Thank you. John, we got a water for you.
Thank you.
I
Bill
guess I'd
was
choke you up.
the attorney for the fire department before we became a city. And then Bill became our attorney. Bill has led this city through many ups and downs. His skills as an attorney have helped us in so many ways. He's defended us in many litigations. He's just done a wonderful job, and he's been at it for over 30 years. So, Bill, if you'll come over here, I have a present for you. So people say, what do you get for somebody who has everything? Well, I know what you like. I know what you love. So I have a present for you. This is the most super duper healthy snacks for your dog.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
And a super duper,
She'll like that.
a super duper water thing. You carry it with you when you take her on a walk, and
that'd be good.
So anyway, this is for you. It's my appreciation and honor of everything that you have done for this city.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it.
You should say something. No, you should say something.
It's a dog day afternoon.
It's a dog day afternoon. Oh, no.
No. The honor's mine. I have all kinds of pleasant memories when it started. I think I'll always remember Joan and Ben Anderson together.
Yeah.
And looking at Ben Anderson in his uniform and thinking, my God, that guy really has his stuff together. Look at everything matches. And it proved to be true. And I think the vision that the original council had has been fulfilled by all kinds of commitments. Certainly, if I'm up here, Mark should be up here too, because Mark took a lot of his personal time and energy when it was really critical to build the foundations for the city. And so did you. So thank you very much.
All right, thank you. And thank you, Joan. We have another speaker?
Arvin Nigel.
Good evening, welcome.
Good evening, mayors, council members, and friends in this place. My name is Arvind, and I came to thank you everybody who came and attend my festival of colors. It was really a good turnout on the city, and people came from even from Dublin and from St. Helena. They celebrate this event, and I came to thank you. And Napa Register put this picture on the front page of this event. It was really American Canyon is great. I didn't put my name anywhere. I said, no, only put American Canyon. So in every picture, he put it there. It's a whole page came on a picture. This one is a front page in the same day. He did a wonderful job to put all these pictures in the paper. Because American Canyon is great. And we all live over here, and all the communities love each other. So this festival is like that we all love each other. You put color on my face, I put color on your face, and we all friends. There's no hatred, nothing else, but you can't control it. So thank you very much who came to the event. And now we are trying to get it from St. Helena also. They will come and celebrate here. So maybe next year we'll do it in a big way. So thank you all your support. Thank you, Leon. Thank you, Brent. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Mark. And Pierre Washington came this time, but we're waiting for our city manager, please, to come over there. So hopefully next year he will come definitely. Thank you. Thank you very much for your support. Thanks a lot. Thank you. I forgot one name. Elena was not there. So we want to wish he should come over next time. Thank you, Elena. Thank you.
Thank you for all the work you do putting that together every year.
Sure, definitely. Thank you.
Hugh Marquez.
Good evening, Mayor and City Council.
Good evening, welcome.
My name is Hugh Marquez, and the first thing that I'd like to comment is I'd like to thank Ali again, as I've thanked you 1,000 times, for the skateboard park. That is a wonderful outcome to 20 years of supporting. With that, I do want to, I've had some people, because people know I'm very involved, I was very involved in that, and people are concerned of parking. That because now that we are a Bay Area draw, people will be coming, skateboarders will be coming with their cars. And a lot of them are bocce ball people that have talked to me. And so I just want to bring that up to you for future consideration. And if nothing gets done, I'm afraid that then stuff will go into the mobile home park, because they have their parking right there in the front. And so I just want to bring that up to you to have some kind of idea or a plan for the future of that. Second thing I'd like to talk about is, as we know, Stacy Johnson, our recreational coordinator for Park and Recs, is leaving. And I'm hoping that there is a process going on right now in finding a replacement before she is gone, so she can pass down information to a new replacement. One of our problems in our city is that we have people leaving, and they leave, new people come in, they have no knowledge of what's gone on with the other person. And so I am hoping that we can stem that. I know there's a process that you have, but I wanted to bring it to your attention that it would be great if somebody can come in before she leaves so she can pass down what she has learned in our city. The last thing is the new development I see at Crawford Way. I know it's coming up. The only question I have is I always thought the city plan was supposed to be commercial. I distinctly remember that we were going to put commercial in those lots in past. So I'm just curious as to what has transpired to change it to get more housing. I agree with the housing we have. I'm not upset. But I think that we need commercial to make a tax base. So I just wanted to bring that up. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Hall, you have a brief response to that question?
Yes, sure. So we do have a recruitment underway. Sorry to see Stacy move on. We do have a recruitment underway for her position. As far as the Crawford Way project, the project's going to the Planning Commission later this month. The underlying zoning supports the application of housing. So I don't have all the details in front of me on the Broadway District specific plan, but it's not a general plan amendment or any sort of larger approval. It's all contemplated and per the Broadway District specific plan. Thank you. Next speaker, please.
I have no other speaker cards. I do have one hand raised online, if we're ready for that. Okay, I have Justin Hamilton Hole. It's going to take me a moment to get him up. Go ahead, Justin.
Good evening.
Good evening. Welcome.
My name is Justin Hall. I'll let you know, I'm going to shout out Dorothy. I saw her a minute ago, and I well remember her from KBYN Divine, and she worked with a KBON AM. And I want to shout out to her, and she hopes she will work with you guys in this club. Another thing is so sad. We lost our 2 people and the high school people passed away. And I'm thinking that when we're finished the meeting, I think we need to close memories of people. We need to be safe, our city, so we need to be safe out there. Another thing, I want to help Bear Cooper is in there. I want to see if we do have update new house. We had no sidewalk over here at the Mary Canyon. But Karen done more. Hopefully we get more house. Hopefully soon. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. I have no other hands raised.
Very good. Thank you very much. We'll close public comment now on items not on the agenda and move on with our agenda changes. If there is no item to be pulled from consent, I'll accept the motion for the consent calendar.
I'll move to adopt a consent calendar.
I'll second.
Motion second. Roll call, please.
Okay, so before our vote this evening, before any action is taken during the meeting, the remote member must publicly disclose whether any individuals 18 years of age or older are present in the room at the remote location with the member and describe the general nature of the member's relationship with any such individuals. So, Miriam, do you have a disclosure for us?
I do not have anybody in the room with me.
Thank you. And now we're going to take our votes. Councilmember Abadamos.
Yes.
Councilmember Joseph.
Yes.
Councilmember Washington.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Oro.
Yes.
Mayor Garcia.
Yes. Thank you, Council. Move on now to public hearings. Item 13, Watson Ranch Lot 8 subdivision.
Good evening, Mayor Garcia, Vice Mayor Oro, and members of the City Council. My name is William He with the Planning Division, and very happy to be here today to give a presentation on the Watson Ranch Lot 8 subdivision. So I'll start with a location map that identifies where these lots are. So Watson Ranch Lot 8 is a very rectangular parcel that's north of one of our newer streets, Cartier Street. This is in Watson Ranch, north of the Harvest subdivision. To the north will be is a park zone, which is scheduled to be a future park for Watson Ranch. To the west is a vacant parcel, part of Lot 7. To the east is the Promontory subdivision that was approved last year, and then to the south is the Watson Ranch Harvest subdivision. Here is the layout of the lots. Lot 8 is scheduled or proposed to be subdivided into 25 single-family lots in the medium density residential zone. It's interesting to show that along with the 25 single-family lots, there are 3 parcels. Parcel A is to the very left side of the screen. It's scheduled to be a landscaping parcel, and where the property owner will provide a monument sign in the future. And then parcels B and C, shown in yellow, will be paseos that allow pedestrians to walk north to the park. And I'll go into more detail about that in future slides. So here's the project description information. The site is in the medium density residential zone. It's approximately 2.3 acres. The project is to develop the 25 residential lots in 3 parcels. And the lots range from 3,600 square feet to 5,600 square feet. Most of the lots are 3,600 square feet, but the 2 that's closer to the edges are the bigger lots with 5,600 square feet. The project was recommended for approval from last month by the Planning Commission on March 28th. Here's 2 photos of the site now, or at least last month. The photo on the left is perspective looking east from Datra Street, and then the photo on the right is looking west from Datra Street. So vacant right now, but scheduled to be subdivided. Here is a aerial photograph that shows Watson Ranch Lot 8. It is the area shown in the red rectangle. And Cartier Street is not fully developed yet, and that's the street that will give access to most of the 25 lots. There are 5 site-specific issues I want to go over, but they're pretty quick. Affordable housing, the uses of parcels A, B, and C, the Watson Ranch specific plan amendment, which was approved last year, some of the architecture that's proposed for the site, and a condition for enhanced aesthetic wrapping of the homes. So to begin is the affordable housing requirement. Every subdivision that has 5 or more units, dwelling units, is required to provide 10% of those units as affordable. So because this subdivision has 25 units, this ordinance applies. However, this project is in the AC1 portion of Watson Ranch, and they provided their affordable units through the Lemos Point Apartments. So they are compliant through the apartments there. The parcels, the non-residential parcels, is shown. It is proposed to be paseos that go northward to the future park. Parcel A was the one that I mentioned that is going to be a landscaping and monument sign parcel. And parcel B will be these paseos. They're approximately 88 feet by 20 feet wide. So we have one that's similar that is a paseo between Pewter Street and Marcus, which is shown in this photo here. And so within the 20-foot wide paseo, there will be a paved path, landscaping on both sides, and it'll be lit with bollards instead of streetlights, so that it will not kind of have light flowing into the neighbors' houses. So I think those bollards are about 4 feet tall. So they already have like an example done between Pewter and Marcus, and they'll do something similar to that for the future paseos. The Watson Ranch specific plan amendment. So during the amendment, the 2023 amendment, lot 8, which is close to the center here, was converted from a public parcel and park parcel into a park parcel and the medium residential density lots here. So that was when the change happened, and that's one of the reasons why the property owner wanted to do the subdivision today, because they have a leftover slice of land here that's for residential use. So it was made possible by the amendment that was approved last year.
Could you point out where that parcel 8 is in this map,
Oh,
please?
yeah. So if you see my cursor, does it show? Oh, no. Oh, let's see. Let's see if I can. Get out of full screen, maybe?
This one right here? Okay, thank you.
Yeah, I can see it here, but not on the main screen.
So if you look up here.
Oh, if we look at, council, if we look at the map here, it says TC-1 Park, right below that.
So
That is
these
the-
two parcels are the ones that got converted to TC1 Park, and this little sliver.
Yes.
This little sliver became what is now Lot 8.
Thank you.
Yep. And so here's some of the architecture that was from Watson Ranch Lot 10, or the Harvest subdivision. They have 3 styles, which is farmhouse, ranch, and traditional. And this would be a similar style that the developer can choose to use. And then the last issue I have is that as a condition of approval, the first and 25th lot is the 2 endpoints of the lot is required to have enhanced aesthetic wrapping, so that it will have like a fully 4-sided house when people see it from the road. So that is a condition that we presented to the property owner, and he's okay with that condition. Public outreach, this project went out as a similar public outreach that we had for previous subdivisions. We had our gov delivery notice, and then our public letters to residents within 500 feet, and it was published on the Vallejo Times Herald newspaper. During the public notice period, we did not receive any comments. CEQA determination and staff's recommendation. Staff's recommendation is the approval of the Lot 8 vesting tentative subdivision map. The project is consistent with the certified Watson Ranch specific plan final environmental impact report, and it includes the mitigation measures and conditions of approval. And lastly, because it complies with the previous environmental impact report. And that's all that I have for Lot 8.
Thank you for the presentation. Questions from, that's right. Questions from council members?
No, sir.
Anything? Vice Mayor? Okay. Any questions, Councilmember Albadamos?
No, thank you, Mayor.
All right. Thank you. Council ready for public comment?
Yes, sir.
Public comment on this matter is now open. Public hearing's open.
I have no speaker cards. I have no hands raised online. I have a hand raised online.
Okay.
I have Terry McGrath. Go ahead, Terry.
Good evening, Mayor and City
Good
Council
evening.
members. Hopefully you can hear me okay. I apologize for not being there this evening. Just wanted to note a couple of things, and William, thank you for the presentation. So it's because it was left over, we actually haven't designed the homes yet. And I actually just signed a contract about 15 minutes ago to have KTGY design the homes. Originally, we had contemplated it being an extension of Harvest of parcel 10 to the south. But we're gonna have KTGY design a different type home there because the lots are really unique. I mean, obviously they step up in elevation approximately, probably almost 60 feet, 65 feet. And obviously they're only one wide. The park backs them up, great views, et cetera. So we're hoping that we can design something that's pretty spectacular for the 25 lots. And then as William also alluded to, you know, we plan to treat that Paseo with a lot of respect, as well as the backyards backing up to the park. We also want to enhance the, you know, that interface between the public park and the back of those homes. And my sense is we'll probably do something along the lines of the fence along Rio Del Mar on the north side between ultimately what's Newell Drive and all the way down to Marcus on that north side of Rio Del Mar. Commissioner Goff had actually asked that we maybe create a slightly taller fence specific for him. But it'll have a look and feel similar to what we've done over on Rio Del Mar. And you know, we're excited to get going. We have a grading plan in front of staff. I believe we should have a permit here in the next couple of days to do all of parcel 7, to do the park, and also start on the extension of Marcus up to and over the wetlands. And so, you know, that's surrounds all of 8. So there will be a lot going on here over the next, 6 to 12 months. In addition, we'll do all the rough grading on the hotel site here, starting in about 10 days. I think we finally have some good weather in front of us, and you know, God bless the rain, but it's time for some sunshine so we can get back to work out there in the field. But I'm happy to answer any questions regarding this or other things that you may have questions on. But again, thank you for your time.
All right. Thank you for your comments. Anything else for public comment?
Well,
Public hearing.
For the
Still
public
open.
hearing? No.
So, anybody else from the public wishing to comment?
I have no other hands raised.
Okay, well, we'll comment, public hearing.
Sorry, Beth Marcus, resident of American Canyon. I'm in hopes, of course, that you would go ahead and adopt this resolution. I'm so proud of this project. I can't wait for it to be completed. And I just want to commend you, Terry, on all the good work that you're doing there. And we're all excited. We can't wait for that hotel. I keep telling you got to get the hotel so I can get that first room for Fran.
Thank you. Any other public comment? Okay, then we'll close public hearing at this time.
Mr. Mayor,
Return to
if I
council
may,
for comment.
this is quasi-adjudicatory, so it'd be appropriate for council members, including Councilmember Abadamas, to indicate any contacts associated or disclosures that they may have had with members of the public or the applicant concerning this particular portion
Thank
of
you.
the Watson Ranch project. Thanks.
I personally have had not any direct comment regarding this project. Anybody else?
I had a conversation on Monday about the broader implications at Watson Ranch and getting an update with the applicant, Mr. Terry McGrath. And I did ask one question about this, and it was about the elevation designs, because I had heard from him previously that he was going to change the builder, and as KTGY, I guess, is new designer. He didn't tell me that then, but that was the basis of our conversation for this agenda item.
Okay.
I have not had any conversations.
I haven't either.
Councilmember Abadamas?
I haven't had any conversation. Thank you, Mayor.
Okay, very good. Satisfy that requirement, Mr. Ross?
Yes.
We will continue. All right. So Councilmember Joseph, you had a question or comment?
Yes, well, I'm happy that Terry is on the line, because I was wondering where he was for this project. But the only question I have is, and I know we can't add this as a condition, but as a request, we know that it'll be all solar panels, and my big thing is to include battery backup. And so the idea is there a way that you could list it as an option that the homeowner could purchase, just like upgrading tile or flooring? Because I do think that will be, having a battery to be able to handle the peak demands and so forth is just so much better than just having solar alone. So that's my question to you, Terry.
Mark, it sounds like you may have an EV and have experienced needing that battery backup.
It's not, I don't have one yet, but I'm just an advocate of battery backup. So I'm just saying, if you get a chance, think about it as an option that the homeowner could pay for, but
I can definitely make a very strong suggestion to the vertical builder when we get to that point, Mark, about having the battery backup.
Okay, works for me.
Appreciate that. And can I just segue really quickly here? Beth, I got your text the other day about the chamber, and I don't know how that slipped through the cracks, but we will get the chamber, get our membership back active in the chamber. And Mark, I am around, believe it or not.
All right, thanks.
All right. Well, hopefully there's a conduit in place in the garages for solar, for the conduit for batteries. All right. Anything further on this? Any more questions? We have an action on this item.
If there are no other questions or comments, I'll make a motion that we approve the resolution of the City Council of the City of American Canyon approving a vesting tentative subdivision map for Watson Ranch Lot 8 to create 25 single-family home lots on 2.3 acres within the Watson Ranch specific plan.
I'll second.
Motion second. Roll call, please.
Councilmember Abadamas, do you have any change to your earlier disclosure?
I don't know if you noticed, but Farah made an appearance and left again, but she's under 18. Other than that, there's nobody in the room.
Thank you. If we could have your vote, please.
Yes, my vote is a yes.
Councilmember Mark Joseph?
Yes.
Councilmember Pierre Washington?
Yes.
Vice Mayor David Oro?
Yes.
Mayor Leon Garcia?
Yes. Thank you,
Thank
Council.
you.
We'll move on now to business items. Item 14, proposed staffing fiscal year 24-25 and beyond.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. This item tonight is kind of a milestone culmination of work that's been underway for the last 9 months or so. We do have a presentation, if we can get that. Oh, I have to go up there to do that, don't I? Let me go up here. I don't give a lot of presentations, so up to the podium. Didn't think that through. Just a second, please.
can tell him how to do it remotely.
Yeah, ask Bill. He knows, he's a pro.
I haven't given a presentation up here to council in years.
Let me help you out, Pops. You can
All right,
advance if you want.
perfect. Thank you. This will be fun. So again,
Right.
we've been something that's been underway for about the last 9 months or so, and it's been a variety of assessments that we've been looking at this organization. So tonight's an informational item. We're going to be having a budget hearing on May 21st, and the purpose of tonight is to kind of preview and inform some of the items you'll see in the budget on May 21st. We're not asking the council to take any actions or anything. But the first part that we wanted to kind of remind ourselves and ground ourselves into the why. Why do we exist? Why are we doing what we're doing? Because we're a service organization. The City of American Canyon provides services to the community. So as we look at how we're providing those services, as we look at how we're doing, it's helpful to remind ourselves of why we exist. We have a vision statement that was adopted about a decade ago, is heavily involved with the community, and our vision statement is to be home to an engaged, diverse community, a destination for outdoor recreation and natural beauty, and a hub of opportunity and economic vitality. Our mission as the organization is to deliver exemplary services. Again, we're a service organization, and we're responsible to community priorities, to ensure a healthy and sustainable organization to drive us toward that shared vision for the future. We have strategic values, how we're engaged with the community and how we engage with that vision, creativity and innovation, collaboration and teamwork, community engagement, leadership, and results-oriented, and that's our outward-facing values. Our inward-facing values are about fiscal responsibility, professional excellence, transparency and accountability, and customer focus and integrity. And it's those broad concepts that start to then yield to some more refinements around goals. We previously had 7 goals. At your more recent council meeting, we adopted an 8th goal around sustainability, and you see that now here on this exhibit. And there's this hierarchy, this pattern of how we orient ourselves, with the goals being those kind of mission areas where we're putting some focus. Each one of those goals has numerous strategies under them, and we're north of 30 strategies at the moment, and each of those strategies can be broken down into real specific initiatives that are worked on from day to day. I'm not going to go into the goals and strategies in too much detail, but one of the goals that we have is around organizational effectiveness. How do we know that we're delivering exemplary government services, and what do we do to improve that and the continuous improvement? So we'd just like to take a moment and kind of reorient ourselves to the why. I mentioned before some different organizational assessments that have been underway since last July. Probably the largest involves the consulting firm Baker Tilly. It's a national organization, does these kinds of research projects and evaluations for municipal governments all over the country. And we engage them to help us look at our 2 largest departments, our Public Works Department and our Maintenance and Utilities Department. At the same time, we also engaged a local regional firm by the name of Municipal Resources Group, MRG, and they are helping us look at the Public Parks and Recreation Department and providing some ongoing assistance there. Of course, our police department is under contract with the Napa Sheriff, and as part of our annual, contract renewals with them and their long-term planning for this particular function in their department, internally have been looking at different staffing needs and different desires to serve the community. And then lastly, we've engaged Polco as a survey company, and this past fall we engaged our employees in an employee survey. Incidentally, we'll be engaging the community here in a couple of weeks on a community-wide survey, and we kind of alternate back and forth. So these assessments, if you will, have been really looking at the whole organization, Public Works, Maintenance, all of the various departments. Tonight's presentation are really going to be focused just on Public Works and the maintenance and utility functions, both the staff report and tonight's presentation. The staff report does go into some detail about MRG's work in Park and Recreation. There aren't a lot of substantive changes, at least as it relates to quantities of staffing or reorganizations in there. I would characterize those more as refinements and clarifications. So the staff report articulates that. I'm happy to answer any questions you may have about those areas. As it relates to police department and staffing, that's the next item on the agenda, and I do apologize, Sheriff, for making you go after us, but I felt like we needed to kind of have some of that context. So the next item tonight is the contractual pieces for the sheriff's contract. These other areas were kind of evaluated with our employee surveys and some general observations. You'll see some refinements in the budget in May, but I don't detail them really in the staff report. Again, because they're kind of small tweaks and refinements, but happy to answer any questions if you had there. Generally, some of the common themes related to staffing, technology needs, training needs, the ongoing use of contractors were appropriate and where strategic, and some common themes, but also some variety in what the assessments have yielded. So we'll talk just a little bit here about the Baker-Tilly report, and I think it's important to note we attached their report here to the packet. With these sorts of reports, they're sort of information or guidance. They're not the dictation of what we're to do. So it's not like we paid for a report, the report says do X, so we're going to do X. It's more informational, it's more guidance. Here's what others do, suggestions, if you will. So it's important for, I think, everyone to understand just because the report may say something doesn't mean necessarily we're going to do it. It was just a suggestion based on some of their input. So, some of the key findings are these departments really should be one department, a Public Works department. That's how things were historically, and they think that molding it back into a singular department will be a positive, and that process is already underway. You'll see that as part of the budget proposal. And recruiting for a leadership position that will focus on utilities. Right now, Maintenance and Utilities Department focuses both utilities and maintenance, and their recommendation is to have a leadership position focused just on utilities. I'll explain a little bit more about what that looks like in a moment. They focused also on building analytical capacity. This would be something around utility rates, fee studies, grants, performance indicators, that sort of thing. There was some confusion and some efficiency that they think they identified in our capital improvement program. And I think the areas of confusion are really about our smaller projects. We have a group of engineers who are very accustomed to delivering large capital projects, Green Island Road, for example, Devlin Road, large $1 million capital projects with engineering drawings and but there's a different sort of task that's involved if you're going to deliver rapidly smaller projects, playground replacements, bathroom installations, that sort of thing. And we've developed now a process where annually we're trying to utilize our repair and replacement funds and trying to deliver some small ball projects, as Councilmember Orr likes to refer to them. So having some capacity there to deliver those small projects, skate park relocations, that kind of thing, not just our big capital projects. This next bullet point, there's a real difference between what happens in design, whether it's a consultant or staff, and what happens in the field through inspection, construction, both for our utilities, for our new development, for our capital projects. So there can really be some opportunity of having an inspection group that is just focused on improvements as they go on the ground. Supervisory needs in our building and maintenance functions was identified there. Right now, really a span of control issue between frontline employees and middle management supervisors. Having our park maintenance group really focus on park maintenance, both the contracted work and the general fund work that we have, and not necessarily focused on stuff related to the pool, which is really a separate skill set and not at all related to park maintenance. Technology was a big theme through both this assessment and some of our employee surveys. We already have some plans in place to address that topic. This last one, training and succession planning, I'm not sure I have, that's very strange. Anyway, technology and training was also something that was identified. The last one that doesn't show up on that slide for some reason talks about utilizing contractors and consultants where strategic. So up here is a list of list of the changes that are underway or proposed for the budget that you'll see, at least the draft budget you'll see on May 21st. Mentioned before, combining this into a singular department, recruiting for an assistant public works director for utilities and environmental, changing the way that our street and drainage division reports now to a superintendent rather than to the director, and to have the superintendent report to the public works director directly instead of the utility function. The work to change where our corporation yard staff report is already underway. That's the former Napa Junction Elementary School, putting the relocated corp yard there. One thing that kind of came out in our reports was realizing at our treatment plants, we don't have something akin to a site supervisor. This analogy would be something like, you have a retail store, and you have your clerks, and then you have your regional manager who's got a couple of stores, but you don't actually have just a store manager. So creating a position there, this wouldn't be a new full-time position, but just an upgraded supervisory kind of role. These next two, a new management analyst position reporting to the director, that was the analytical capacity that I mentioned previously, and then the project manager position that I mentioned previously. The project manager wouldn't necessarily be a licensed engineer. This would be someone who had demonstrated some real capital project experience, but probably not the big comprehensive projects, more of a production kind of delivery, smaller projects. We're looking at contracting for our pool maintenance function, which is really quite a specialty, and it really doesn't have much to do with park maintenance. So contracting that out, and then also our vegetation management. Last year, our pilot project utilizing sheep, our four-legged employees, if you will, was quite successful, and so we're looking at some grant funding right now and expanding their use. It's interesting, when humans go and do vegetation management, in particularly areas that are hard to reach, it can be costly, a lot of handwork. Birds and everything have to be evaluated and studied, and there's cost to hire consultants just to figure out if there's birds in the area. If you send a sheep out there, then Mother Nature, it's all fine. So it's actually pretty effective, and particularly for those hard to reach areas, it's an effective use. So we're going to be expanding that and looking at that program. So just some examples of trying to be creative and strategic. Here's a list of some changes that I'd say that are on our mind. Not going to be part of any kind of budget proposal, but we're still considering, thinking about, evaluating, et cetera. The location of our utility field staff. This would be our distribution and collections team, where they should be located. There's some pluses and minuses with changing that or keeping them where they are. This notion of a field inspection division, like I mentioned, really kind of focusing on inspection of the improvements that go into the ground. Looking at how our engineering divisions, both the capital, the private development, and this inspection division layout, and some leadership there. And then full-time maintenance worker position in the parks division. Part of our desire to have some more focused effort from that group just on parks maintenance themselves and creating some analytics around it is to really determine, are we right-sized with the number of employees in that group, or do we still need additional park maintenance workers, or should we contract differently with how we use our LAD contractors, for example? So some thought that needs to go into that, but we really need to have some focus just on parks. We're looking and talking with the employee groups right now about what we call our permanent part-time positions. There are folks in this world who want to work 28 hours a week or 32 hours a week for whatever reasons, and we think there's a way to accommodate them in a benefited way, in a prorated way. We don't think we would get the full benefits, but you get a prorated benefit. So we think there's some opportunities there, but we have some more ground to cover with our employee groups there. And of course, all of this we'd be looking at some additional clerical support in some form or fashion. And so those are the topics that are in this presentation. I'm happy to answer any questions about the presentation or the staff report itself. We included 3 attachments in the packet. We included the employee survey results, we included the Baker Tilly study, and we also included the MRG study. So again, happy to answer any questions on those or anything from the presentation.
Thank you for the presentation. I think I like a process where we review quality and capacity of work. And certainly, as we saw earlier from a presentation on more housing being built, the requirements were going to simply grow on what's needed to be provided for the residents of American Canyon. So good to be thinking forward on that as well. Councilmember Joseph.
Yes, well, thank you for the report. And I actually enjoyed reviewing the Baker Tilly report. Had a lot of good insights. So I think you selected a good team for that one. And of course, I'm okay with combining public works and maintenance utility. I believe Councilmember Abu Damas and I were in favor of supporting that back when the decision was made to split it. So I'm okay with that. A quick question, in looking at the organizational chart, or maybe Baker Tilly's organizational chart, if streets and drainage report to the Public Works Superintendent, who does the Parks Division report to?
Same.
Oh, okay. Because it looked like they were separate, and I was going to say they really ought to be reporting to, okay.
But you bring up a really good point, and I apologize for not having a more contemporary org chart in this presentation. You will see one for May 21st. Hopefully we can get the visual cue to some of those questions.
Good. Beyond that, as I kind of alluded, my concerns are usually the same as you can imagine. I'm worrying about whether we have the money to pay for all of these bodies, because police is asking for a lot, you're asking for a lot, and from my perspective, I'd be much more interested in adding maintenance workers and boots on the ground than I would command and control positions. So my two general concerns are, do we have enough money to pay for these positions, particularly when we add all the requests? And then secondarily, I'd rather invest in maintenance workers and patrol officers, and I'd rather do it before anything else, because quite honestly, if we add one or two administrative positions and then discover we can't afford to add any more, then the guys out in the field get the short end of the stick again. And so there's a part of me that is thinking, if we can't figure out how much we need in the way of maintenance, then maybe we spend some time to figure that out, because I'd much rather invest in field operations at that level, because that's where we get the most direct benefit to the customer. And for me, my mission statement is, how do we improve the quality of life for the people who live here, work here, and visit here? And maintenance workers, police officers, the clerical people that meet you at the front desk, those are the people we need to make sure we have enough of. And that's where I'd rather see us invest our money in. So those are my general views.
Okay. Other council comment? No, I'm good. Okay. Council ready for public comment?
Yes, sir.
Public comment on this matter is open.
I have no speaker cards, and I have no hands raised online.
Okay.
Oh, right there.
Yes. From the audience, public comment?
Hugh Marcus, resident. I agree with Mark Joseph. I would, when going over the chart, it did look like it was top heavy. And I feel that if you hired more people in the parks or more public works people that were doing stuff on boots on the ground, it would be a greater asset. But again, this is just a look at. Thank you.
Anybody else wish to comment? Okay, well, let's say just receive and file, so thank you very much, Mr. Hawley. We'll look forward to more work in the area.
Thank you, Mayor and Council.
Thank you. Okay, move on now to Law Enforcement Services Contract Amendment.
Good evening, Mayor, council members, member of the committee. Welcome, Sheriff, my boss. So tonight I bring before you the Police Services Contract Amendment 20 with the Napa County Sheriff's Office. So currently, the contract that we're in right now expires June 30th of this year. In that contract, currently we have 26 sworn officers, and that includes myself. The proposed contract is for 3 years, which would go in effect July 1 of this year and then expire June 30th, 2027. And proposed would bring our staffing up to 30 sworn. So these are the major changes in the contract amendment. So I'm going to go through them on the slides on what each position is. So in the next fiscal, in 24-25, there's no changes to staffing at ACPD, no proposed changes. In July of 2025, we're proposing to add an additional community resource officer, a CRO. And this position is, it's very important in community-oriented policing, community outreach, National Night Out, and also in making the special events that the city has safe. So this position actually creates a plan, an operational plan on how to keep the community safe during these events, such as 4th of July, Meet Me in the Street, National Night Out, any event the city has, we're involved with, we create a plan. Also, this is a key position in assessing the new businesses that come into town. We provide feedback on how to make this, a safer place, not just the business, but apartments, any new development. We provide feedback on how to make it safer, whether it be lighting, cameras. Obviously each project's different. Also, what goes along with that is any new development, such as apartments and our mobile home parks. We have actually monthly meetings where that officer meets with the management staff and identifies any problem tenants. And so I feel the need. It's being proposed that we need an additional CRO because obviously we're having more of those types of dwellings in the city. And then additionally in July of 2025, we're proposing to add an additional traffic enforcement officer. I have motor officer on here. We're not necessarily glued to that position as far as a motor officer, just specifically a traffic enforcement officer, which could drive a patrol car or a motorcycle. I'll go into a few details on this position. Obviously, with increased population, which is, we're looking at in the next few years, it's going to mean more vehicles on the roadway. Hopefully not, but more vehicles, more bad driving behavior, more officer presence that are actually being able to dedicate their time to traffic enforcement, where they're not getting, deterred away to go to a call for service, where they can focus on traffic enforcement and then, unfortunately, traffic collisions. So these officers, during their shift, if a traffic accident happens, these officers are the ones that are investigating the traffic collisions. So, and then in January, so mid-year, in January 26 and 27, we're looking at add 2 regular patrol officers, one each mid-year. And these are for, increased population, and comes with that is increased calls for service. And I should back up a minute and explain. So patrol officers, they maintain the peace in the community, right? They're the ones responding to calls for service, whether it be an alarm call, domestic violence, someone stole my garden hose, you name it. So they're the ones maintaining the peace in the community on a daily basis. The two positions I spoke on prior, that's where we make a difference in the community. So they're able to focus on the problem areas, which could be traffic enforcement, which could be community engagement, or our special events. So without those specialty positions, it's hard to keep the high level of service that we're providing the city right now. And that's my opinion on that. So I should also add, there's another change in the proposed amendment, and that is, it's in the staff report, it's in the contract on page 2, I think it's the 3rd paragraph, but it kind of lays out the city has 90 days before the end of the fiscal year to say, hey, yes, we need these positions, no, we don't, and then the sheriff, at his discretion also, if we don't have the staffing to supply personnel for those new positions, that it doesn't happen. So I think we put that in there because it's kind of an unknown on the population growth and how rapid that's actually going to happen. So I just wanted to point that out as well. That's all I have. Is there any questions?
Thank you for the report. Yeah, I think you're, as mentioned earlier with some other aspects of the city, as the population grows, it needs to be an assessment of what the needs are and our capacity to serve with what we have and how to achieve that financially as well. So, thank you. Councilmember Washington.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Mayor, and thank you, Chief, for your presentation. First, I want to say that I think you guys do an excellent job. I think the community support that comes with it is, remarkable because you don't normally see that in a lot of cities, that the cities are behind you and supporting you the way you do for what you guys do. I'm glad you went back to put the plug in for the CRO, the Community Resource Officer. I think that's one of probably the most rewarding positions that an officer can invest in themselves, because not only does the city benefit from it, the officer actually benefits from it as well. He gets to understand what the community is all about and falls in love with the community a lot of times. I say that because I spent 4 years as a community police officer, and that was the most rewarding pieces that I've had in my entire law enforcement career. So I applaud that you see the value in it. I hope that our residents, our community sees the value in those school resource officers and community resource officers. They do add a huge benefit to being that liaison amongst the police departments and the community. So thank you. But great presentation. I like all the information that you provided. No further questions. Thank you.
Vice Mayor Oro.
Yeah, thank you. I echo the service that you guys do and what you bring to the community. I want to thank you and the force for the good work that you guys are doing. Question on the CROs. Where are the two right now? Are they both at the schools?
So the CROs as community resource officers, so they're two separate positions. So it's the SROs I think you're referring to. So middle school and high school, we have one officer at each school that are dedicated school resource officers.
Okay, so
that's not in this.
That's not in this one.
Correct.
So we have one CRO now. You're adding a second one.
Correct.
Okay. I just need that clarification. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Councilmember Joseph.
Okay. I agree. I think these positions are all needed. My concern, of course, is can we afford them? Looking at the numbers, it's like a $2 million a year increase from the new staffing, as well as general inflation in the budgeting. I'm getting a little worried because we just had the last report that's talking about adding a lot of bodies, and I'm not so sure that we'll be able to afford it. And so my focus would be responding to, increases in population. So the patrol officers would be my first priority. The idea of maybe merging the traffic cop with a patrol officer, kind of get a 2-for-1 angle might be something. I guess where I'm coming from is, just as I had reservations about adding fire battalion chiefs, not that it's not that it isn't a good idea, but can we afford it all? And I echo the same concerns here. I'm not comfortable at this point saying we can afford all 3 or all 4 positions over the next 3-year contract. So I'm, I think the CRO position would be great, but I'm just concerned that, we may not be able to afford it, particularly considering you will be working from the same general fund that Public Works would be, and from Parks and from Recreation. So that's my attitude. Show me the money and I'm on board, but otherwise I'm a little cautious. Thank you.
I think with that, probably if we come around in May and we're beginning to look at our budget, there's more in-depth analysis of that would help us with our determinations around that. But I think the work to be done. I do think by and large, still on the top of the list, why do people move here? Well, it's a safe community. Yes, it is. We have a very excellent relationship with our police officers and the service they provide.
Mr. Mayor, I just wanted to comment. I think it's a good point that Councilmember Joseph brings up. And the other side of that coin is, can I find it? Because recruitment is a challenge. We're hiring constantly, putting people in academies. And I think that's why the language was put in the contract about 90 days, because we're not in a situation where we have, every position filled, we might have to lay somebody off if you can't afford it. Like now I'm in a situation as sheriff where I have to, what do I do with this extra body that the city of Amcan can't afford? So that's the other side of that coin. I think that's why that language is in there. If you'll notice the way the positions are staggered, it's trying to crystal ball the growth of revenues for the city and trying to match that to the growth of the department, growth of calls for service. These aren't management or even supervisor positions. They're boots on the ground positions to the earlier presentation. And we enjoy an excellent relationship with the city. I'm very proud of the response of Rick's team, the ACPD team, at the big shooting that happened at Safeway. They were there within seconds, literally within seconds, and that's why everybody was apprehended and first aid was immediately rendered. It's kudos to that team and that incredible response time. One of those responding officers was your community resource officer, Maureen Patterson, because she happened to be in the vicinity. So they're still boots on the ground, even though they're labeled as traffic officers or they're labeled as community resource officers. And similarly, school resource officers are still potentially boots on the ground if their radio's on, they're in the vicinity. Additional to that, all those positions are there to help for the larger incidents, like in that example. But again, if the city manager goes to the chief and says, hey, can we push this off another 6 months because the homes just aren't sold, we have that flexibility today because we have the vacancies. And the other side of that coin, if the city manager says, hey, we can afford that position, we want it, I have the flexibility to tell chief, well, yeah, but I don't have it, so we're going to push it off for 6 months because we're still, and I still have the rest of the county to provide staffing for as well. So I think that's why that paragraph was put in the MOU. But certainly, you bring up a good point.
Thank you. That helps bring for me some clarity to what that issue is. Thank you. Anything further questions from council?
No, sir.
All right, council ready for public comment?
Yes, sir.
Public comment on this matter is open.
Good evening, Beth Marcus, resident. I feel like a broken record, but all I got to say is I am so proud of these guys. They are on the ball all the time. I don't know how to express how safe I feel as an individual, as a person who lives by myself. I feel safe. I think the last time I was up here, I was irritated because I hear people say something about the police department and are we safe? And it's like they're there every time. They apprehend everybody. How much safer can we not be? Yeah. My hat's off to them. I love them all. I hope that you consider everything. I'm sorry I get emotional when it comes to them, but that's just how I feel.
Thank you for your comment. Anybody else for public comment?
I'd like to say
called my daughter, who was in Santa Cruz, saying he's gonna call the police department to go check on me. Did they ever check on me? I don't know. I don't think they didn't show up. I was there waiting. Oh, okay. So anyway, Beth drove up to my house to make sure I wasn't there, and of course she saw my car.
Yeah, she didn't answer.
I didn't answer. And I called Ron and I said, I'm at a party. So I just wanted to tell you, they're on the ball, the police department.
Very good.
You could have called them next.
That's a very good report. Thank you.
Anyway, that was an experience. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else? Anyone on? Yes.
Good evening, Mayor, City Council. My name is Brando Cruz. I am a resident here in American Canyon. And I just want to say I fully support our law enforcement. I'm a retired police sergeant from the Bay Area. I can tell you what, we are growing exponentially here with all the residents, our businesses, and so forth. We'll be behind the 8 ball if we don't hire these positions. As a CRO and such, that is one of the most key important positions, I think, in any police department, in any city. You're connected with the community, and they are very, very important. But I do have one question, Chief or Sheriff. The folks that you do hire here in American Canyon, is it a special assignment, or how do you pick from those particular folks?
So the positions down here, oftentimes there's a waiting list. So typically it goes out by seniority, and then we get a list of names. Myself, the sergeants, lieutenant, kind of go through them, see who'd be a good fit for the community. Like I said, oftentimes there's a waiting list. Like there's a waiting list right now, waiting for promotions so that officers and deputies can come down here and work, because they love working down here. So, if that answers your question.
Thank you, Chief. Those are all the questions I have, and I do wholeheartedly support our law enforcement agency. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Anyone else? Anyone online?
I have no one online.
Okay, very good. Well, we'll close public comment, and thank you much for the, wait. Councilmember Joseph.
I just wanted to clarify, I got a chance to review the language, and there is that 90-day trigger that works both ways. So that being the case, that offers me a little more comfort, because I don't have a problem with the positions, just our ability to afford it. And this gives us a protection, a braking valve in case. So I'm a little better with the proposal now. Thank you.
All right. Thank you for the report.
Thank you. Now that Councilmember Joseph is a little bit more comfortable, I'd like to make a motion to accept resolution number 2024 next in order. A resolution of the City Council of the City of American Canyon approving Amendment 20 to Napa County Agreement number 200005B as in boy, previously known as Agreement number 3220, with the Napa County Sheriff's Office for law enforcement services for the period of July 1, 2024 through June 30, 2027.
I'll second.
Motion second. Roll call, please.
I will note for the record that Councilmember Miriam Abadamas left the meeting at 8 p.m. So we have Councilmember Joseph.
Yes.
Councilmember Washington.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Oro.
Yes.
Mayor Garcia.
Yes. Thank you, Council. Moving on to management and staff oral reports.
Yes, Mayor, we have two. Park and Recs Director Akita has an update, as does Finance Director Juan Gomez.
Good evening. I'm here to share all the wonderful things that are happening in American Canyon. On May 20th, Earth Day in Napa is they're hosting a community cleanup with Napa RCD. If you'd like to participate, you can register on their website. On April 21st, in partnership with the American Canyon Community and Parks Foundation, we will be hosting Earth Day in American Canyon down at the wetlands from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. If you would like to participate in a volunteer project, that opportunity is going to be from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m., and you can register on the city's website. On April 23rd, we have a landscape and lighting assessment district update, which is going to be for Zone 1, La Vigne, from 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. And that's going to be at Via Bellagio Park. And then also on April 23rd, we have a special American Canyon Fire Protection District Board meeting. It's a closed session at 5:30 p.m. Also on April 23rd is a climate restoration presentation by Schools for Climate Action Leaders from 6 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. at Napa County Library. On April 25th, there is a Planning Commission meeting at 6:30 p.m. From April 25th through the 27th, Friends of the American Canyon Library will be hosting a used book sale. Please visit their website for specific dates and times. On April 27th, we have a Climate Solutions Showcase, 350 Napa Climate Now from 12 p.m. to 3 p.m. at the American Legion Hall in Napa. Also on the 27th, we will be hosting our annual Community Recognition Ball at the Doubletree Hotel from 5 to 9 p.m. On April 30th, we will be hosting the Landscape and Lighting Assessment District for Zone 2 at Silver Oak Park from 6 to 7 p.m. On May 1st is Napa Valley Tourism Improvement District meeting at 11 a.m. On May 4th is the May 4th to Be With You event at Napa Junction Community Center from 5 to 8 p.m. Also on the 4th, as you heard this evening, Spirit Horse, in partnership with the Rotary Club, will be hosting a spring fundraiser from 4 p.m. to 8 p.m. at the Spirit Horse Ranch, located down in Clark Ranch Wetlands area in American Canyon. And then also on May 5th, save the date, there will be a Napa Bike Fest at South Napa Century Center. Times have not been disclosed yet. Thank you.
Thank you for the report. Any questions from council?
No, sir.
Thank you.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Juan Gomez, Finance Director. I just wanted to remind all our utility customers of our water rate assistance program, which is essentially eliminates the fixed rate, the meter charge, which is $26.56. So please go on our website, and spread the word that if you need that financial assistance, all you have to do is sign up online and show a copy of your PG&E bill, which has the care program discount that you're receiving that. We do update that annually every January, but just as a quick crunching of the numbers, those customers on really low water usage, say 4 units of water, their average bill is probably $113. So this equates to approximately 23% discount. So the PG&E Care discount provides you a 20% discount if you apply for a water rate assistance program. It's as easy as just showing your utility bill from PG&E that has that care program. We also updated our website to make it a little bit more easier to navigate, a little friendlier to apply. It was a little convoluted, so through the work of our utility billing team and our communications team, we've updated that. We're also including messaging in our next utility bill that's going to share the same information so that everybody has a chance to see that and apply. So of the over 5,000 customers we have less than 100 customers on this program. So there's still a lot of capacity, and the way that it is funded is not funded through rate revenues, but it is funded through interest, for example, on idle funds that we have, penalties and interest that we charge, and so forth. So there's plenty of capacity in these funds to assist those that are really in need of it. So that's my report for today. Thanks.
Thank you. Anything further?
That's all, Mayor. Thank you.
Okay. We will move on to Mayor or Council comments and committee reports. We'll take up future agenda items after that. Well, start with Councilmember Joseph.
Well, bless you. Looking at our list, Napa Valley Transportation Authority, that's meeting tomorrow. Although, just for the record, part of why I was late is I was part of a team that went to all the different councils and town halls and so forth explaining the new Measure U, and I am happy to say that every jurisdiction in the county has endorsed it in a near unanimous vote by all of the elected officials. So
Thank you. Wow, that's great. Great
that
job
is
there. Thank
that
you.
is good news and worth showing up late a couple of times to our meetings. That's the same reason I missed out on most of the fire district a couple of weeks ago. So that's my good news. That's my report on Napa Valley Transportation. And I think climate action is next week too. So
Yes. All right. Councilmember Washington.
Yes, great job on Measure U. Just a reminder, tomorrow night, April 17th, the Napa Valley Unified School District is going to have a town hall. It's going to start at 7:15 p.m. I encourage people to, if you want to be informed of what's going on, of current events, make that meeting, let your opinions be known, and get the facts.
And where's that location?
At the high school, at the theater, 3000 Newell Drive in American Canyon.
Okay.
The high school.
7:15.
7:15.
Thank you. Vice Mayor Oro?
I don't have anything to report at this time, but I have a number of committee meetings coming up, and I will be reporting on the next council meeting.
All right, very good, thank you. Well, a number of things have happened community-wise here. Check out the new skateboard park. That was a ribbon cutting. Certainly I can get energetic about it. Let's see Vice Mayor Oro there on his skateboard.
I rode.
Very slowly, very
They
slowly.
roll, yes, yeah, right.
Yeah.
Actually, I found one that I could use. It's a three-wheeler with a little handlebar. You can, but it's a skateboard underneath that. No, I just, I'm amazed at it. I keep assessing myself on it. How much is that going to hurt if I fall down? Yeah, it's just, so in deference to my capacity to maintain my balance and all that, I said, oh, I'll enjoy somebody else doing it. So there was a lot of activity. It's going to be a huge draw for American Canyon. I think what impressed me was the engineering company that built it. They're also skateboarders, so they know the type of thing that people like. And it's going to be quite an asset for American Canyon. Kudos to the Arts Foundation, the cultural celebration they did the other night. Well, that was really, really great. I mean, it was mainly Filipino, South Asian, India, and Mexico. And, it was mostly dance performances, but it's just to see the melding of all that. And the narrative, I think, that's in the background that goes on with it is just beautiful. NICLOG, I'm sorry, NVTA. We had the ribbon cutting for the bus transit maintenance facility there near the airport. That's very impressive. I mean, there was quite a crowd that showed up with a lot of dignitaries as well, represented from a lot of our electeds there. But that's going to be a facility that's going to be around for many, many years. I think part of the encouragement with Councilmember Joseph is hydrogen may be the next fuel, in all likelihood. It doesn't create any environmental issues other than water vapor from hydrogen and oxygen make water. So they're going to take water apart and then put it back together again, and that creates the energy. Napa Valley Waste Management, they're just looking in anticipation of the budget coming up, and we seem like we're on a very good track with that. And that was a bigger part of our presentation. And that would conclude my report. So thank you for that. Any future agenda items, Council?
I don't have any future items, but there's one observation that I wanted to make as part of this Measure U effort. It's fun to go to other council meetings to see how they do things. And what struck me is everybody had proclamations. But what I thought was interesting, a couple of the communities, the mayor actually gets up, walks to the podium, and reads the proclamation there, which for me seemed a little unusual, but that two cities did that. The other one, Napa City, apparently has a process in which they rotate. So each council person will read a whereas of a proclamation, and it rotates until it's all done, and then the mayor reads the ending, you know, making that proclamation. So that I thought was a little intriguing for no other reason than, you know, when you have a lot of proclamations to read, you know, it's always fun to have different voices. And so just an observation, I throw it out there, just something I learned on the road.
Well, thank you for that, because it turns out proclamation season is upon us. So that might be a good thing to be doing that on a rotational basis here. That was just,
It's kind of like, you know, anything else, you go on trips and conferences and all that, and you pick things up. So that's what I picked up.
you know, that's valuable information. It really is.
Yeah.
See how other people get stuff done. A lot of the stuff we do is, the work we do is very much similar to every other place. It's just a matter of how it's put together. Do you have another comment there, Councilman or Vice Mayor?
No, I have a future agenda item.
Future
if
agenda
that-
item,
if
yeah.
that's okay, if you guys are all done.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's an agenda item I don't know, don't want to bring up ever, but I feel like I am compelled to. As you know, we had the Water Rate Committee meeting a couple weeks back, and we had public comment, and one of those public comments accused us of backroom dealings around this. And it happened to be Parks Commissioner David Garcia. You know, as you know, commissioners serve at the pleasure of the council. I took great offense to that. I actually did a cross-examination of our city manager to make sure that there were no backroom dealings. So took offense to that, and I've heard there's other, I've heard from others and rumblings and gatherings around his attitude and presence, and I would like to investigate that and bring it back to council as a future agenda item for us, please.
Is that a motion?
I will make that motion.
I'll second it.
Motion and second. Roll call, please.
Councilmember Joseph,
Yes.
Councilmember Washington,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Oro,
Yes.
Mayor Garcia.
Yes.
Thank you.
Council. Well, for the greater good, is there anything further this evening? Future agenda items?
No, sir.
Not hearing any. Well, we have concluded our business for the evening. We are adjourned. Thank you all for coming.
Thank you.
Good night, American Canyon.
All right.